بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our discussion about resources for inner peace in Islam, which is part of our series on inner and outer peace in Islam. In the last session, we ended with this idea that we need to take the lead and manage our mind and our emotional energy. Our mind, because of the way it operates and prioritizes the attention, and mainly in order to defend, can do things that may not be the best thing for us in the long term. I said that, for example, when there is a threat or a potential threat, the mind puts lots of energy and attention on that threat, which is very natural, which is very, acceptable. But you should know that some of these things are not immediate threat, and some of these things are not the only threat, and also there are other good things that you have to consider. So that is a good attitude to bring your attention to the threat, because if you ignore the threat, you may get into troubles. But you should not remain there and all the time just think about the potential threat. Like, for example, if imagine in an event, maybe there are hundreds, thousands of people there. If security have, few people that they are concerned about, okay, they should, have more attention to them, but they shouldn't ignore the rest, or they should not think everyone is a criminal or everyone is a suspect. So you need to manage. You need to understand how to use these, habits and techniques and functions of mind to your advantage. In some lectures also, for example, in a Kauthar Learning Circle retreat, I talked about how this also comes to our relation with other people, how our mind first identifies differences than commonalities. So you have to train yourself then to appreciate commonalities. We had this discussion before. So one of the things that we have to do is, instead of just being concerned with the problems and the threats, we should train ourselves to also take into consideration good things, positive things, beautiful things, relaxing things, things that can give us energy. When you, for example, drive, when you walk, you see many people, you see many, sceneries. Do you really get energy from the sources of energy which are there? I'm sure if there is any problem, we will be drained. For example, if I see some people are, fighting, quarreling, if there is bad traffic, if there is accident, if someone falls down, if the road is dirty, we will notice. And for sure they will affect us. 99% of the time, we will notice the problems. But if there are many beautiful trees, flowers, grass, if people are, moving with, punctuality, if there is no delay, if people are smiling, if a mother and child, a father and child, I don't know, if a husband and wife are walking, will we notice? Many times no. If there is a beautiful sky, beautiful clouds, sunshine or rain, will we notice and get energy from them? No. So there are lots of beautiful things that you can plug into them and get energy and charge yourself or recharge yourself. But we may not do. No. But if there is any problem, quickly we pay attention and we let our energy to be drained. So it's very important, if you want peace, if you want happiness, to learn how to recharge yourself. And now imagine on top of ordinary things, we have lots of spiritual things to recharge ourselves. Thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His beautiful name, thinking about Quran, thinking about virtuous people, thinking about beautiful incidents in your life, thinking about people who have been bringing light to you, bringing positivity to you. Lots of things which can give us energy. We can use our memory, we can reflect, we can do dhikr, we can read Quran. So there are endless sources for energy that we need to keep charging ourselves actively. If you are not active, even you may recite Quran, you don't get energy. You may do dhikr, you don't get energy. Not that because there is no energy there, because you have not been ready to get energy. You have to be conscious. Energy can go away. Maybe you agree with me. This is, I think, important point. To be drained, you don't need to be conscious. But to be recharged, you need to be conscious. Otherwise, you will be charged 1%, 2%, maybe 3%. Not full battery will be discharged. But for being drained, all battery can be drained even if you are not conscious. 100% energy can go away if you are not conscious. But it's impossible to be 100% recharged if you are not conscious. Please remember this point. One of the things that helps a lot in having peace and tranquility is charity work. It's amazing how it contributes to your sense of contentment, your sense of pleasure, plus feeling tranquil. Not only knowing about the problems of people, not only knowing about, you have brought some light to them and you have done something good, which all give energy, but there is a special benefit in charity, and that is sakina, sukoon, tranquility comes to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً, the famous ayah. Take from their money sadaqah. تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. By taking sadaqah, you purify them. In the lecture and paper on self-purification, I have explained that Rasulullah had the task of tazkiyah, yuzakkihim wa yu'allimuhumul kitab wal hikmah. And tazkiyah needs to remove sources of dirt, germs, and the greatest source is hubbud dunya. Hubbud dunya ra'su kulli khatiyah. Is the root for all problems. So giving sadaqah helps with purification, because you are getting rid of hubbud dunya by giving away what you love. And Quran says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You cannot, you will never gain birr, piety, goodness, unless you give away some of what you love. مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ, something that you love, you are attached to it, you should give away, so that you become independent. You rise above it. Something which stops you, you have to rise above it. Otherwise, it will stop you. So, تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ. O Rasulullah, when you take sadaqah from them, صَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Make dua for them, send salutation to them. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَسَكَنٌ لَهُمْ. Your salat, your dua, your salawat, your salutation, your prayer for them, sakanun lahum, is tranquility for them. So inshallah, when you give charity, if it is accepted by Allah, it will purify you, it will bring tranquility to you, plus helps another person. But the main beneficiary is the giver. The giver should be more grateful to Allah than the receiver. Receiver should be grateful to Allah and to the one who gives, yeah? Because it's going to help him. But the giver should be more grateful to Allah and to the one who takes from him, because he has been given an opportunity to serve, even serve himself. So this is also something important that we should pay attention. Being forgiving is also very important. If someone has wronged you, first of all, always think that maybe you are making mistake in your assessment. Maybe he has not wronged me. Maybe it just has happened. Maybe it's misunderstanding. Maybe I contributed to the problem. Maybe I have actually wronged that person. I think, he has wronged me. So always, check 3 times, 4 times, because, there's a great chance that we take our side because we are biased about ourselves. But even if you are 100% sure, it's very clear that you have been wronged, okay. What do you want to do with this? This has happened, okay. We cannot, undo it. It has happened. So we can let it drain our energy. We can let it remain in our heart and little by little become like a cancer that takes all our attention and make our relation with that person worse, and the people who are associated with that person worse, and sometimes create turmoil. Or we can forgive. If there is no systematic plan to, wrong you, because when the systematic plan or there's a systematic, attempt of, bringing justice to you or your, dear ones, etc., that's different. But most of the time in our personal life, with friends, family members, neighbors, you should forgive. When you forgive, you do one service to that person, because then that person is not going to suffer from negative impacts of zulm and wrongdoing, so that he becomes worse and worse. Secondly, you are doing service to yourself, because you are releasing your energy for positive things instead of letting your energy be drained by bad things. Someone has wronged you, and all the time you remember that person and what that person has done. Are you going to benefit from this? Or it's going to increase the pain? If I had a terrible, for example, a story, okay, with people, or even, myself, for example, I lost something, I can keep thinking, and become always, sad and depressed. Or I can forget it. If I forget, I'm serving myself, I'm bringing benefit to myself, then just keep thinking about negative things. So we need to develop the quality of forgiving. When you forgive and even pray for those who have wronged you, you rise above them. You rise above the problem. The problem is no longer able to affect you because you have gone higher. You are not there at that level that the problem was, imposed on you. You are higher. You are not the same person. And Allah, inshallah, is going to forgive you if you forgive those people. فَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَصْفَحُوا أَلَا يُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَهُمْ. They should forgive. Don't they love to be forgiven by Allah? But I am now focusing on this role that forgiving has in peace. Not only between two people, but even your internal peace can be strengthened and helped by forgiving people. It's very important. And forgetting negative things. To be organized is also very important, to be punctual. Lots of our energy can be wasted when we are not organized. Sometimes we have to do something. Okay, let's do it as soon as possible. Unless if there's a priority. Why? Because it's going to keep my energy, drained. For example, I have to pay this bill within next 2 weeks. I can pay it now, I can pay it within 2 weeks. Let's pay it now. If I have the money, pay it now. Why I need to keep thinking about this for 2 weeks? I have to submit an essay. I can do it now, I can do it within a month. Let's do it as soon as possible. Because first, a problem can happen that stops me, and then I will not be succeeding. I will fail, and I will suffer. Secondly, even if I manage to submit in time, why I should let this for 4 weeks occupy my mind and take part of my energy? So if we are punctual, if we are organized, we save lots of energy. And also our relation with people will improve because they see we are doing things quickly. So they will trust us more, they will like us more. This is why Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam, in his final will, he says at the very beginning, he says, Taqwa Allah wa nazm amrakum. In the discussion about nazm, how to be punctual in Islamic plan for life, I have talked about this. Taqwa is very important quality, and nazm comes next to taqwa, because if you don't have punctuality, you cannot have taqwa. And also, in some levels which may not be wajib or obligatory, and it may not conflict with basic taqwa, but it conflicts with higher levels of taqwa, because higher levels of taqwa means that you have to be efficient. You have to be economical with your energy. Wasting energy, maybe in some levels, is not haram, but from a spiritual perspective, it is wrong. Maybe it is not from fiqh or legal perspective, it is israf or zulm, injustice to ourselves, but from a spiritual perspective, even a small energy which is wasted is israf. It's a zulm to ourselves. So nazm is very important and brings peace. And finally, and maybe this is a very good thing to end with, one way of bringing peace to ourselves and maintaining peace is to remember beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially those names that relate to you at this particular station in your life more. But please say it consciously. Repeat these names, remember these names consciously, with open heart and mind. For example, you can choose passages of Du'a Joshan Kabir, from Munajat Khamsata Ashar, from Munajat Sha'baniyya, from Du'a Abu Hamza Somali, Du'a Kumail. You can choose for yourself. Once read them and take note of those passages, those names that you feel they relate to you now. Or Quran, for example, the last verses of Surah Al-Hashr. Allahu alladhi la ilaha illa hu al-malik al-quddus al-salam al-mu'min al-muhaymin al-aziz al-jabbar al-mutakabbir. He is Salam. He is Mu'min. Salam. He is peace, and He provides us with peace. And He replies to our request for peace. He is Mu'min. He gives amn. He gives security, safety, in a comprehensive way. So if we consciously repeat these names of Allah, they have big impact on us, and they can bring sukoon. Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. Allah first says, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَتَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُم بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. He refers to people who have Iman and their heart comes to peace with remembrance of Allah. And then he says, as a general rule, it's not only those people, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. With remembrance of Allah, we can have peace. Everything else falls under remembrance of Allah. On the other hand, مَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. And those who turn away from remembrance of Allah, they will have very pressed life. So if we want peace, if we want hayat al-tayyibah, if we want to be free from unnecessary fear and sadness, the key is to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in this way, open our heart to all the beautiful attributes of Allah to function in us. Beautiful attributes of Allah bring beautiful actions of Allah. Just let us invite Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and let Allah take over. And this is tawakkul. And this is wilaya of Allah. Tawakkul from our side and Allah's wilaya from His side. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us experience, taste, and then share with other people and help them also experience this beautiful peace that Islam offers internally and externally. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.